Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Because you guys asked for a Woke Dingbats t-shirt, I went and made it available for you all. So you can actually order your very own one right now. Link is available in the show description. Yes, I ship internationally as well. And yes, I know the price at the moment is quite insane, especially for my international followers. If I can get 20 people to order a Woke Dingbats t-shirt, that will enable me to reduce the price for those people international, because the manufacturer won't kill me on the making of the shirt costs. That's the main issue at the moment, because they are such great quality, and I wanted to give you guys something that it was great quality. I don't make anything at all pretty much on these shirts. So for those of you that can afford it, fantastic. If you can't, I'm working on trying to make a way so that you guys can afford it. You guys asked for it. I made it happen. So please, if you do want one, go and get one right now. Link again is available in the show description and in the comment section as well. All right, today we're going to be talking about, well, this Netflix series that is stirring a lot, and the mainstream media is having a field day with it because, well, Netflix decided to race swap one of the characters in such a way that is actually really insane. The first time ever that Netflix has decided to race swap a black character, it's based on a true story, to that of a white character. And gee, I wonder why they decided to do that. Could it be that they wanted to paint the incel Andrew Tate style misogynistic bent of the right wing as all white, hateful young people that need a lot of help, which they do, no doubt about that. Incels are young men that are very, very angry at the world because they've been hurt by women, and they will do rather horrific things to women, and they can do some even crazier things because they're bent up frustration, they're annoyed with life and the world, and they feel like they've got no hope. It is actually really sad. Incels, I really do worry about. I really do, especially when they've got people like Andrew Tate to look up to. Not a very good role model, if you ask me. Look up to somebody else. It's not Andrew Tate, for goodness sake. But lots of young people seem to do, because they feel like Andrew Tate is speaking exactly to their problem. Oh, women are to blame. Women are the problem. No, you need to take some personal responsibility and accountability over your own life and your own actions. Grow the hell up. Realize that Andrew Tate is not the solution and everything that he's teaching, and actually get your head in the Bible. Like, that is going to help you be a much better man. Believe you me, and then actually follow godly men. Like, stop being angry and stop like coming up with what the incel movement really is just a reverse of the woke movement. It's just like you are angry, or reverse of the feministic movement, right? It's basically men hating on women because women have been bad to them, and women hate on men because men have been bad to women. That's the whole point of the feministic movement. Incels just like take it an extra step further, I think. And we've got all these other role models that don't, or role models, I should say, that don't help at all. So Netflix decided to come out with this show called Adolescence, and it's currently doing the rounds at the moment on the mainstream media, because mainstream media loves this kind of stuff, and they love portraying young white men as being the bad people. And this is the first time they've actually gotten a story like this so wrong. Instead of actually telling the real story of the real culprit, the black person that killed a young woman, they've made it about, they changed it to a 13-year-old boy that happens to be white. So here is the real story, okay? Teenager jailed for life for Lalaine Andam murder. Happens to be a black dude. Netflix goes, we can't make black people the bad people here in this scenario, because it is a real story. You know what we're going to do? We're going to twist it, and we're going to make it about a white young person that got exposed to the likes of Andrew Tate misogyny, and so therefore he went out and with a knife and started killing people. Like, that is a kind of nonsense. Even though they claim that this is a work of fiction and all that sort of other stuff, it's not, because it's based on a true story. You just haven't got the facts right. And you're making young people, like young white people, look to be the enemies here. And they're not. And I'm not saying all black young people are either. It's you're missing the whole point. But no, let's change the facts to suit our own narrative. And that's a problem to me. So Netflix has a show called Adolescence that's about a British knife killer who stabbed the girl to death on a bus, and it's based on a real life case such as the Southport murderer. So guess what? They race swapped the actual killer from a black man / migrant to a white boy, and the story has it so he was radicalized online by the red pill movement. The real story wasn't like that at all. But in Netflix's version, it definitely is. And it sparked apparently this big conversation in the mainstream media about what young people are actually watching online and who they're actually watching, to say the least. So here is the ABC. Obviously, the ABC is here in Australia. It's funded by the government. And this is actually from our Australian news government funded thing. And our ABC is so woke, it's like kind of crazy. Same with, I think, the American ABC too. They're all just as bad as each other. They're all insane. And they go, the truth behind Adolescence, the new Netflix series exploring incels and Andrew Tate style misogyny. It's got no truth in it at all. But even still, parents should still understand and figure out what their kid is watching online. Because if they're watching Andrew Tate or Myron's Gaines, I think his name is, from Fresh and Fit podcast, I think we've got a huge problem. Okay, they've got to be able to understand that what these people are teaching ain't good for humanity. Could a teenage boy be so influenced by the likes of misogynist Andrew Tate that he's driven to murder his young classmates? This is a question at the center of Adolescence, the gripping new Netflix crime drama. In 4 episodes, each told through one continuous shot, the ramifications of a 13-year-old Jamie's arrest is played out in spectacular style. First-time actor Owen Cooper was just 14 at the time of his performance, compellingly leads in a series that takes toxic masculinity even then. That's a problem. I have a problem with this term, toxic masculinity. Masculinity can't be toxic itself. There can be toxic men, but that doesn't make masculinity itself toxic. For goodness sake, people kind of need to grow the hell up. Loneliness and the gender divide to its extreme. The show's question, what can happen to a boy who's rejected by traditional masculinity? Explains Ryder Jack, the principal facilitator at Tomorrow Man, a social enterprise helping young people break down harmful gender stereotypes. Well, there you go. There's already a problem right there. Harmful gender stereotypes. Oh my goodness. They're making these young boys out to be like actual wimps. Big time. And is it any wonder that they're turning directly to something that's even worse, Andrew Tate? Like, for goodness sake, where does he go? What happens to someone craving affection and validation who is so isolated? They turn to the internet. Pornography is a big problem for young people these days as well. Oh, we can't talk about that. No, it's definitely got to be about Andrew Tate. Pornography teaches young kids how not to treat, or how to actually treat women, and they end up doing that. They end up with this bent up sexual frustration. They end up committing the same acts that they see in the video because they think that that's exactly what women want. Spoiler alert, it's not. From high value males to the 80-20 rule. In Adolescence, Jamie attempts to balance the traditional gender expectations of his father's generation and with a modern messaging presented to him online. There's something about actual masculinity that we need. And I spoke about this with the Anthony Mackie video. We need young men to be respectful. And that comes from fathers teaching that. It comes from actually having healthy role models out there that are nothing like Andrew Tate or Myron's Gaines or any of those other people. It comes with actually understanding that first and foremost, you will treat a woman with respect. You will be a man. You will act like one. There are like chivalry that needs to be taught, but it's not anymore. In fact, it's replaced with all these other modern versions of what masculinity is. And we wonder why we have all these male feminists who've got no idea. All talk, no execution. It can leave teens scared of being cancelled or saying the wrong thing. Well, where did cancel culture come from exactly? Wasn't it from the left? Yeah. Oh, okay. So they're blaming cancel culture on the right. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen on the right, because it definitely does. Both insane. You need to cancel culture. For goodness sake. We're seeing boys retreat online where they have all the freedom in the world to push boundaries, to outdo each other and shock each other. And it's in the online world where the manosphere, an umbrella term for overlapping misogynistic communities, runs rampant. Yes, it actually does. And that is also a big problem. So one idea presented by the manosphere is the 80-20 rule, a myth one teen in adolescence present as fact, explaining 80% of women are attracted to 20% of men. You must trick them because you'll never get them in a normal way. That is a utter dangerous horror lie. But anyway, a teenage boy believing he needs to hoodwink girls into you know what is not new. Girls do it too, by the way. So men are not the only culprits in this scenario, but women do it as well. In fact, women are very, very good at it, and they can get away with it more than men can these days. Films like Superbad and American Pie, oh no, focus on young men so desperate to lose their virginity, they'll do absolutely anything to make it happen. But Mr. Jack says today's young people are bombarded with these messages on their phones and laptops 24 hours a day, and we're yet to see the full impact. Yeah, right. We've got a long way to go. So this show on Netflix, I don't think is a net positive at all for young people to be seeing. I think we need to have a much deeper conversation and not portray young people, young white people, as being like these really horrible incels that it could be anyone, could be any young person. It's not just frustrated young white people that go out there and commit these atrocities, which they most likely can do. The real story, tell it like it actually is, that it was a black young boy that was probably radicalized online. Who knows from what he saw, and he went out there and killed a young girl. But no, they took the opportunity to make it about their woke agenda, make it worse. You think this isn't going to have ramifications? You think people that are part of the incel community aren't going to see this and aren't going to lash out? You think they're not going to try and prove your point? Like, you think that this was actually a good way of moving forward with a documentary like this? This is what happens when you create stuff that is actually going on in our society, but you don't tread carefully. You accuse. And then young people go, well, they'd see me how I see the world, so why don't I just go out and do it anyway? Why should I stop? The world's not going to accept me for who I really am. They demonize me and they hate me. So may as well just go out and do whatever I want then. Young people that are part of this community that are listening to the wrong influences, they need help. And they're not getting the help from a Netflix documentary like this. This is not going to make them go, oh, I see the errors of my ways. No. It's going to make so many more people afraid of them, so they won't even go and try and help them. Insane, if you ask me. Shame on Netflix. Anyway, you guys take care, you be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.